Every day, the global economy performs a quiet act of faith. More than 20 million barrels of oil pass through a corridor of water no wider than 33 kilometers. Supertankers the length of skyscrapers move through shipping lanes barely 3 kilometers across. And almost all of them must pass the same coastline. The northern shore belongs to Iran, which means that at any moment, the arteries powering modern civilization run directly beneath the surveillance of a single country. This corridor is the Strait of Hormuz, the most important energy choke point on Earth, and possibly the most dangerous stretch of water in the global economy. But the real vulnerability of this corridor isn't its width, it's how easy it might be to disrupt. To understand why this narrow passage matters so much, you first have to look at the geography surrounding it. To the west lies the Persian Gulf, a body of water bordered by some of the largest oil producers on Earth: Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar. Together, these nations hold an enormous share of the planet's known petroleum reserves. But geography created a problem. The Persian Gulf has only one natural maritime exit. Every tanker carrying oil from these countries must travel through the same narrow opening. That opening leads eastward into the Gulf of Oman, and from there into the Indian Ocean, which means the energy fueling modern civilization must pass through a corridor only 33 kilometers wide. But the true bottleneck is even smaller, because ships cannot move freely within the strait. Large tankers must follow specific shipping lanes carved into the water. One corridor for incoming ships, one corridor for outgoing vessels. Each lane only 3 kilometers across. Through these narrow channels flows nearly 1/5 of the world's petroleum supply, every single day. But geography didn't just create a bottleneck, it created a strategic imbalance. The northern coastline of the Strait of Hormuz belongs almost entirely to Iran. From these shores, Iran can monitor nearly every ship entering or leaving the Persian Gulf. And several small islands near the shipping lanes are also under Iranian control. But surveillance is only part of the story. Military strategists have long understood something about narrow waterways. In a choke point, the weaker power does not need to defeat the stronger navy. It only needs to interrupt the flow of traffic. And over the past several decades, Iran has developed a military doctrine designed precisely for that purpose. Much of this strategy is carried out by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. Instead of building massive warships to rival larger navies, the doctrine focuses on asymmetric tactics designed for confined waters. Fast attack boats capable of swarming larger vessels. Coastal anti-ship missiles positioned along mountainous shorelines. Submarines designed for shallow coastal environments. And one weapon that is particularly effective in narrow waterways: naval mines. Naval mines are deceptively simple. A floating or submerged explosive device that detonates when a ship passes nearby. They are relatively inexpensive, easy to deploy, and extremely difficult to detect once placed underwater. A single mine can disable a massive oil tanker carrying millions of barrels of crude. But the true power of naval mines is not destruction, it is uncertainty. Once ships suspect mines may exist in a shipping lane, traffic slows dramatically. Insurance companies raise premiums, shipping companies hesitate, energy markets react. In a corridor as narrow as the Strait of Hormuz, even a small number of mines could disrupt one of the most important energy routes on Earth. This vulnerability is not theoretical. It has already happened. During the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s, both sides began targeting oil shipments in what became known as the Tanker War. Commercial vessels became strategic targets. Missiles struck tankers, helicopters attacked merchant ships, naval mines damaged hulls. By the end of the conflict, more than 450 commercial vessels had been attacked. Oil tankers burned across the Persian Gulf, insurance premiums surged, and the stability of global energy markets suddenly looked far less certain. Eventually, the United States intervened, launching Operation Earnest Will, one of the largest naval escort missions since World War II. American warships began escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, But even with one of the most powerful navies on Earth guarding the corridor, the vulnerability never disappeared. Because the weakness was never purely military, it was geographic. Today, tensions between Iran and the United States periodically raise concerns about disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. Military exercises often simulate mine deployment, missile attacks, or shipping disruptions. And even small confrontations in the region can send shockwaves through global markets. Oil prices sometimes rise dramatically simply from the possibility that shipping could be interrupted. Because energy markets understand a fundamental truth, closing the Strait of Hormuz permanently would be extremely difficult. But disrupting it temporarily would be far easier. And even temporary disruptions could ripple through global supply chains. Fuel prices rise, shipping costs increase. Industries thousands of kilometers away feel the consequences, all because of a corridor between two coastlines. Modern civilization often appears vast and resilient. Global trade routes span oceans. Energy networks stretch across continents. But the systems supporting this global economy are often surprisingly fragile. They depend on narrow passages of geography, small corridors that cannot easily be replaced. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important of these choke points, a place where geography, energy, and geopolitics converge in a single stretch of water. And every day, the global economy continues its quiet act of faith. Because sometimes, the systems powering the world are not built on massive foundations. Sometimes, they pass silently through the narrowest places on Earth. And today, the Strait of Hormuz doesn't need to be closed to disrupt the world. It only needs to feel uncertain. Because in modern geopolitics, perception alone can move markets, reroute ships, and reshape global stability. Thank you for watching. If you found this interesting, drop a like and consider subscribing. And in the comments, tell us what you want to explore next. This is Yverse.